Hello and welcome to the world of Matthias. Today we're going to do a project that I have been waiting for a while. I have been stalling it a bit because I have had so many other great projects to show you and to share with you. But now it's finally time to assemble my Stratocaster Fender guitar. And in these boxes I have the neck and I also have the body. Inside this I have all the small bits that I have to use to assemble this guitar, and I also have this, which I have already opened, but this is the noiseless pickup system from Fender USA. So I will use that as well. Now this guitar is not going to be any other Stratocaster. This is going to be, well, it's going to be my take on a Blackie. Eric Clapton is one of my favorite guitarists, so yeah. In fact, the Blackie guitar that Eric used was in fact assembled from many different guitars. So this is kind of a tribute to him. Let's move over to the workbench and open these things up and see what we got. So I wanted to get the all vintage parts from Fender, and this is the tremolo that I got. So yeah, it looks good, I think. It's quite a heavy piece, and the tremolo ball block is very dense. It feels like a quality item, of course it is. Inside the box you also have the tremolo arm and also all the strings and all the screws that you need to fit it. And I also got the vintage tuners, but these are kind of a cool cross because these are well, they are vintage in style, but they don't have the screws on the back side. Instead you mount them with the guide pins from the front and also the nut that goes straight through the headstock of the guitar. My favorite way of mounting tuners. This is also a good piece. This is the, as I told you before, this is the noiseless pickup system, and it's a pre-wired pickguard, and it's a Fender USA style. So I love that it looks a little vintage. I know that the Blackie guitar is very white and very pale, both the maple neck and also the pickguard, but I like the more vintage style, and this should replica a 50s guitar, so I think that this will work nice. And this is very exciting because this is the mid-boost preamp kit. Basically you are boosting the mid-range on your pickups on the guitar. From what I heard, Clapton didn't want to have a pedal, so he asked his guitar tech to make a system that he could control using the control knobs on his guitar. This is the black older body from Fender, and this is the American Pro 2 maple neck with a maple fretboard. And as always, these Fender parts are packed very nicely. So this is the older body. It comes in a cardboard box. And inside that you have even more protection. It's wrapped in bubble plastic, and then it's another protective bag inside of that. So the Stratocaster body from Fender is a really heavy one if you compare it to some of the cheaper Amazon versions. Very nicely routed, very nicely painted. The neck is also packed very well inside a cardboard box. I can also mention that these parts came in another cardboard box, which this cardboard box was shipped in. So yeah, very well protected. Small little protective bag as well. And you have the installation sheet, and it's gloss on the front, on the fretboard and on the front of the headstock, but on the back satin finished. That of course is a personal preference, but I like it. Also worth mentioning is that the holes that goes into the neck pocket are not the same as on a standard Fender Stratocaster. But with that said, the neck heel is exactly the same, so you can just drill another hole and that will work absolutely fine. The way you mount the neck is you put in the heel all the way in at first, and then you just push it down, and then you use your palm to push the rest of the neck inside the hole. These original parts from Fender, they have a real nice tight fit, so they will always work very nice. So firstly, I put in 3 of the screws into the back of the neck, and then I just drill out where I want the 4th hole. That way I know where to put it. It works great every time. I've done it a couple of times and there's no problem doing it that way. So let's look at the tuners and how to mount them. As I said before, these are kind of a blend between the vintage style tuners and modern style tuners. They look vintage, but the way you are mounting them are a little bit more modern. You have the guide pins on the back of the tuner, and they will correlate on pre-drilled holes on the back of the headstock. So you just put it in and they will match perfectly. When you've done that, you put in the screw from the front, you tighten that, and the tuners are aligned perfectly. And this is Fender's mid-boost system. You have to put the control panel somewhere, and I plan to do it in the same place that Eric Clapton has it, and it's right under the pickguard. And then you also get this quite advanced wiring diagram, but it's also quite clear on what you have to do. So I think there will be no problem following this. I also want to put the 9-volt battery on the back of the guitar. I want to know where I'm going to route out for the control panel. So what I do, I pre-mount the pickguard and I just put some tape around it just to see where the edges are. Then I can remove the pickguard, and now I can see where I can route out for the control panel without it showing when the pickguard is on. And I just tape off where I want it, leaving maybe 2-3 millimeters on each side. This is a very handy tool that you can use at home. It doesn't cost much at all, maybe $100. So I would very much recommend that you get a router if you're planning to do some things at home. For this job, I'm just using one of these router bits. I'm not going full depth at the first pass. I may have to do 3 different passes to get the full depth. And I start in the middle and work my way out, because sometimes the router bit can catch in the wood. I want to be very careful doing the first runs. So start in the middle and work your way out. And lastly, I trim the edges. And now I can pre-fit it, and yes, it looks like it fits. Let's just clean up the workspace and pre-fit it again. Yeah, it looks nice here. So now for the 9-volt battery, just the same. You tape off where the edges for the back plate is. You tape off where you want the 9-volt battery, and then the same. You just route out, taking it step by step, just 3 passes, and then you're all the way down. So now the 9-volt battery is in the guitar, and we can start assemble the rest of the guitar. So let's start with the bridge. This is the vintage bridge, so it has 6 screws that you have to put in. Let's turn the guitar over, and now we can start fit the springs in the back. Just make sure to cover up the guitar, because it's quite a difficult angle and you can end up scratching it if you're not careful. Put in the springs. I'm not a big whammy bar player, so I use all 5. Tighten them down. Now it's time to put back the neck. Just screw it back in. And before we solder it all together, we want to shield all the cavities. And for that, I'm using Nitrolax conductive shield paint. And you have to paint it twice. And then I'm going to leave it overnight. And then we can solder the whole system. And then we can try the guitar out. This is the day after. Now all of this paint has dried up. So now it is time to do the soldering. So when you buy this mid-boost preamp kit, you get this soldering shot. So we are going to use that. The things that you are getting in this kit is, of course, the control panel, which looks like this. It has all the wires that you need, and also the connection for the 9-volt battery. You also get 3 pots, and you get one of these stacked pots, and you get a stereo output jack. Then you also get some nuts and the washers and the capacitor, and also one of these. So firstly, we need to remove all the things on this pre-wired pickguard that we're not going to be using. It's the ports that need to go. You got this TBX tone control, and what it does, you have it all the way down and then you turn it halfway up, and then there's a little stop there, and then you can turn it again, and I guess that will make some kind of change. And on the volume control you have a 50Ki pot, and on the tone control down here you have a 250K pot. So now it is all soldered up. I followed the shot, and it should be correct. Now, since I have conducted paint here, I don't want the underside of this computer chip to touch that. So I'm thinking I'm just going to use this cloth tape. Like that. Okay, so since this is a 50s guitar, there is only one string tree, and the string tree should be between the second and the third tuner, right down below. It holds down the two highest strings here, so you have to line them with that. And the best thing to do that is simply to put on the strings. And now once we have put it together and we know that the electronic works, we have to adjust the neck. And the neck is a little bit like this right now, so we have to adjust the truss rod to get it right, because it buzzes a lot. So we have to do that. Alright, so that's good. Now we have to adjust the string height. Now there is an easy way that you can adjust the strings if you want them as low as you can get them. Adjust it all the way down so it will buzz when you press down on the third fret, like so. And then you can just raise it until it stops buzzing. And now let's intonate. So what do I think about this project? Well, I think that it's pretty amazing how easy it is to put your own guitar together, especially if you use all Fender parts. They all fit together very nice. It's all a press fit, and all the screws and all that you need you can get. They sound amazing. It's easy to set up. It's nothing fancy at all. You don't have to be a luthier to do this. You just have to learn some small tricks to set it up, to set up the neck, and then you can set up the height of the strings the way I showed you to do it. It's nothing anybody can't do. All in all, this was a very fun project. I'm very happy and satisfied how well it turned out. The mid boost, yeah, it looked quite complicated, but it wasn't. So if you're planning to do that, just take your time, and there will be no problem. The only thing I did wrong was actually when I routed out for the 9-volt batteries on the back. I did it on the wrong side. It should be here, not here. So yeah, I have to do something. Maybe I have to do something about that. It's not a biggie. The only thing that has to be adjusted is that this cover plate here is a little bit offline. I hope you enjoyed this video. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Be well and be good to each other. See you in the next one. Bye.